What is up, everybody? How's it going? Austin Prechtelevate Performance, coming at you live. Happy Winning Wednesday. Hope you're having a good day so far. Gonna keep this live very brief because I forgot that I'm going live at 10 now, and the pop-up thing didn't pop. Like it didn't. It popped up, and I must have ignored it because like I have a whole day scheduled out and all that. Because of that, I've got other meetings going on when I normally used to go live at noon. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Is we're going to be talking about our why, though. We're going to be talking about our why, and why it is important to be crystal freaking clear when it comes to your why behind your fitness journey, behind your weight loss journey, behind whatever it is that you're striving towards. Because if you are not clear on your why, if you are not clear on your why, you're going to have a way less likely chance of actually reaching your goals at the end of the day. I'm going to explain why. Because the more clear you can get on like the reason behind why you're doing this in the first place, the more likely you're going to succeed. Okay, I'm going to talk about why here in just a sec. But as you're watching this, give this video a like. Tag somebody who might need to hear this, who's on a journey or is thinking about doing a journey. Also, let me know how your day's going. Let me know a win in the chat. Would love to hear it because it is Winning Wednesday. But let's jump into things, though. Let's jump into things. So, very often, and you guys could probably all relate, there have been times in your life where you say, I'm going to do something. I'm going to go travel. I'm going to go visit someplace. I'm going to lose 10 pounds. Let's keep it fitness centric, right? Or weight loss centric. I'm going to lose 10 pounds or I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to, get back to my pre-baby weight, right? I hear that a lot too. You say it, right? You say you're going to do something, and then a day goes by. You didn't do anything. A week goes by. Nothing happened. A month goes by. Shit. A couple months go by. And all of a sudden, it's been a year and you didn't do anything about it, right? You didn't do anything about your goals. And a lot of times, that's because, what's up, Kristen? What's up? Hey, hey, hey. And a lot of times, that's because you're not getting clear on why you want this in the first place. You're not getting clear. And because you are not clear, you're not really drawn to the positives that can come from actually pursuing the journey. You say you want to do something, but then you don't, right? Why is that, right? It's because you don't have a clear picture of what you want or what the benefits will be in the long term, right? And in the short term. When I get on calls with people, right? When I get on calls with people and I have conversations, I make them paint a vision for themselves. I make them paint a vision for themselves based on where they're at right now and where they want to be, right? And not only do I do that, not only do I have them paint a vision, I have them tell me what it's going to feel like. Like, tell me what you're going to look like, what you're going to feel like, how your confidence is going to be different, how your relationship with your partner might be different. Like, going out to like hang out with friends. Like, are you going to be less like reclusive? Are you going to be like, wear what you want to wear and feel confident? Like, all those things, all those details, all those nitty gritty details. When it comes to, what the positives could be with your journey if you were to pursue it, if you were to take action today, right, or tomorrow, and not a month from now, and not a week from now, but like, acting on it in as soon as possible, right? What you're going to get out of it. And so I have people tell me, like, what are all the positives? Like, what's the awesome shit that's going to happen in your life if you actually do this, if you actually pursue this, and it happens, right? Because a lot of times people don't think about that shit. They say they want to do something, and they say before they think about what is actually going to happen if they do it. And so I get on the phone with people, and they're like, I've never really thought about that. I've not really thought about like what it would actually be like to reach my goals. And sometimes it's not because it's not a lack of planning on their end, or it's not a lack of wanting it. It's just sometimes they can't even imagine themselves actually reaching that point because it's been so long. Maybe they've tried so many different things in the past that it just felt like an impossible fate to actually make it happen and make it a reality. And so a lot of times it might not even be their fault. It's just maybe a lack of confidence that it could actually happen for themselves, right? And so whenever I talk to them, I'm like, you need to think about this shit. This is important. This is really important. Kristen says, I appreciate that you get to know us. Absolutely, absolutely. Even when you fail, you remind me that's okay. You got this. Exactly, you do have this. And so it's one of those things, right? It's like, you got to be thinking about these things whenever it comes to your vision, when it comes to your why, because that's going to be what pulls you along whenever you're struggling. That's going to be what actually gets you to honestly keeps you going if you started already, but also just freaking start, right? And getting really crystal clear on why you want this in the first place. You can adjust it as you go along in your journey. And just because you say I'm doing it for this at the beginning doesn't mean that's it for the rest of your journey, right? Things change over time, even for me. But you have to get clear on your vision at the beginning, because otherwise, you're not going to get there, right? You're not even going to start. A really good question on Instagram from Thalen. By the way, I appreciate you for tuning in. What is a strong enough why? That's up to you at the end of the day. But a lot of times, things like, I know that you have a kid, right? I know that you have a kid. For me, and the reason why I'm talking about this topic is because, like, yesterday and this past weekend, I was very strongly reminded with what my why is when it comes to my, like, for me personally, like, for building my business, right? Like, for me building my business, I was reminded of, like, a very strong why. And it's not my only why, right? We can have multiple whys. But for me, with this weekend, with all the daycare shit going on, I'm sure you guys are tired of me talking about it. But I was reminded. I was like, ooh, I want to be in the fucking position to get to one, to, like, my business that I've built. It's a blessing, right? I get to work from home. I'm my own boss. I don't have to listen to any motherfucker out there. Nobody can tell me what to do, right? Like, I don't have a boss. I don't have anybody who can tell me what to do. It's awesome. Also, it gives me the freedom, not only financially, but also, like, work wise, that if I have to take a day off for my kid to spend time with him, or to, like, be there for him, emotionally, or whatever it may be, or physically, like, to, like, be there for him, or to have the, like, ability to have, like, like, honestly, like, in a sense, like fuck you money, to, like, tell a daycare, like, that's fine, like, we'll leave. I don't care. We don't need you. I'm fully capable of having my kid stay at our house, and watching him for, however long it takes until we find a place that is actually going to treat us the way it needs to be treated, right? For me, I was strongly reminded of what my why was, and that was my family, right? I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for legacy. I'm doing this for the sake of helping and putting out a lot of good shit out there in the world and helping a lot of people. But, a lot of it yesterday, like, a lot of these, like, raw emotions that I was feeling when I got to this, like, this, like, raw and, like, deep place in my life was like, like, I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for my fucking kid. I'm doing this for my, like, my wife. I'm doing this for, like, for that freedom, right? And maybe that is for you. Maybe it's freedom for you. Maybe it's the freedom to feel confident, to feel like you want to go and do, that you can go and do whatever you want to do. Maybe it's the freedom to, like, not have fucking anxiety, right? About wearing certain clothes, or going to the beach, or going out with friends. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's your why. It's for your kid, because, like, you want to be here for a good time and a long time with them. Maybe you want to add 10, 20, 30 years to your life that you might not have if you don't take your health seriously, right? Maybe that's your why. And so for you, just sitting down and being like, this is my why. This is why I'm doing this, and this is what I want. That's going to drive you. That's going to drive you to actually start. That's going to be what pulls you along as you continue along in your journey. That is going to be, that it's so important to get clear on that. And maybe because I work with a lot of parents, right? Just to relate it back to parents. Maybe your why is, like, to be the fun mom, right? Maybe you don't feel like the fun mom right now, but you've seen other moms, or maybe your mom was the fun one, and you went and took the kids to go on hikes, or to go play, or went to like, amusement parks and stuff. But you can't do that right now, right? Maybe because you can't, like, fit on the rides right now or something, and you're like, you hate that you can't do that right now. Maybe that's your why. Maybe you want to be the fun mom in that regard. Maybe there's something that's, driving you deep inside, and your why is because maybe you're like, and this is not directed towards any specific client of mine, because there are several clients of mine that have had this happen, unfortunately. But, like, maybe your parent died early, right? Maybe your parent died young, and it fucked you up, like, when you were a teenager or a kid. Maybe you didn't even have a parental figure because they died young, because they had a heart attack, or, like, it was some sort of, like, all cause mortality that was related to obesity, right? Like, maybe it was that. I know a lot of people who have had that happen to them. And maybe that's your why. Maybe that's what's fucking driving you, is, like, you don't want to die young like your parents did, and you want to be the parent that's around for your kid for a long period of time. That shit's powerful, right? That shit's raw. That shit's, like, what might keep you up at night sometimes. use that shit. Tap into that shit. Like, think about that shit. Think about what your why is. And, there's no such thing as like a right or a wrong why necessarily, unless you're like a supervillain or some shit and you're trying to like do it for evil. Like, obviously, like that's not okay. But like, whether it's for vanity or whether it's for confidence or whether it's to improve your own self worth or if it's because you're doing it for your kids, right? To be the best parent that you want to be, the parent that's going to be around for as long as possible. Maybe that's your why. But regardless, there's no such thing. Nobody can tell you that your why is not valid because like everybody, like if you want to do it for whatever, like whenever I first started working out and getting healthy, it was for fucking girls. It was for girls, man. It was for chicks. It was for like I was trying to look good. I wanted to like feel confident. I wasn't super confident internally with myself. I felt like I was ugly. I didn't like myself that much, and so I started to go to the gym because I wanted to just be honest. I wanted to look good. I wanted to get jacked. I wanted girls to pay attention to me, right? That's not what it is anymore. That's not what it's about for me anymore. I want to be here for a good time and a long time. I want to be a strong leader, role model. I want to show my clients, the way I want to be a good example for my kid. Like your why can shift, right? Like there's nothing says it can't. And so that might be the case for you, but that's just my story and that's my why. Nobody can tell me that my why at the beginning was less valid than it is now. It just shifted and it changed and it transformed because we grow, right? We grow as people. And so that's how I would say and how I would try to define your why. But you also got to get clear on the why of what will happen, right? We just talked about all the positive shit that might happen if you do it, right? You also got to get clear on your why or not your why, but what could happen negatively if you don't fucking do it, right? If you don't do it, right? It's probably going to be the opposite of what your why is, right? Or what's driving you, right? For you right now, maybe it's, like maybe the why could be like just to be blunt, dying early. Maybe you'll fucking die early. Maybe you're knocking 10, 20, 30 years off your fucking life right now. You could be. Like, I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor. I don't know your blood work or anything like that. But that could be the reality of the situation. If you don't do something about it, maybe you're going to die young like your parents did, right? And then your kid's not going to have a parent. Maybe that could be why. And that's powerful, right? Thinking about it in the opposite like way of what could happen if you don't. That's driving. That's a why. Maybe you're not going to have confidence, right? Maybe you're going to keep being depressed and have a lack of confidence, a lack of self-worth because you don't feel strong or you don't feel sexy, or you don't feel, like in control of your life right now for whatever reason, right? And maybe the mindset that you would drop like pull from a fitness or weight loss journey, like in doing so with the consistency of it and stuff like that, maybe that would provide that for you. But if you don't do it, then nothing's going to ever change. And so whenever I talk to people on the phone, like I have them lay out the vision. I have them tell me like, what could you get out of this that's positive? Plain devil's advocate. What bad shit could happen if you stay the same for the next 6 years or 6 months, year, 2 years, rest of your fucking life, right? You got to get serious about that shit. You got to get clear about that shit, about what good could happen, but also what bad could happen if you don't. Because that's going to be powerful and that's going to be something that's raw and that's going to drive you to do what you want to do to actually make your shit happen, to reach your fucking goals. And we're all capable of it. So, if you're somebody who's like thinking about starting a journey right now, right, get clear on your why. Because that's going to be what actually like gets you to fucking do it. It's going to get you to kickstart shit. And it's going to pull you along whenever you're lacking motivation, right? It's going to help that too. So, Naomi says, it's not shallow for your fitness goals to be a hottie. Exactly. Everybody deserves to be a hottie, right? Whatever you define that as being, right? So, yeah. And then Theon says, yes, I'm going to be a bad bitch and kick ass mom too. Exactly. Yeah. Hell yeah, you are. Hey, you're in the right place. You're in the right freaking place. It's about to go down. We start tomorrow. I'm excited though. I'm excited. It's going to be a good time. So, other than that, though, I hope that makes sense. Get real clear on your freaking why. Why you want to do this and what will happen if you don't do this. And you're going to be a lot more driven to do what you need to do if you do it, I bet you. So, other than that, hope that you got value out of this. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you for watching. Feel free to give this video a like. If you're watching this on Facebook, feel free to share it. Tag somebody that might get value out of it. If you're watching this at a later time, #replay, so I know that you saw it. But other than that, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Happy Winning Wednesday, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.